Hi there folks, Skullgrim140 back doing another Transformers review, and since Auto Assembly is drawing very, very close, I've noticed that a lot of people are getting into the theme, they're getting into the spirit of things, and wearing green clothing again, because, of course, last year's theme for Auto Assembly was you have to wear green clothes, and of course I got the t-shirt that says Rock and Roll on it, but I thought I might as well wear something that's a little bit different, and that's not green, and that's something that I had a little while ago that I thought I might as well show off in this video, which is, of course, t-shirt that says, even bigger, with a picture of Optimus Prime, giant fucking robots are coming. This is a really nice t-shirt. It's one of those t-shirts of Transformers that I'm pretty sure a lot of people aren't that familiar with, because, of course, the big effing, the fucking going on. Yeah, t-shirts with swear words often are aimed for the lowest common denominator, but I think this t-shirt actually really looks good for what it is. Plus, it's brown, so I don't own that many brown clothes. I need to get more brown clothes anyway. But yes, talking about clothes instead, and now talking about toys. Yes, back for another Transformers review. And today we're going to be taking a look at a character from the Japanese side, the Japanese series of Transformers. Now, the Japanese series of Transformers has its likers and haters. It's a bit of a mixed bag. A lot of people can say that it's bad, a lot of people can say that it's good. Take it for what it is. But for what it's worth, though, if you want bad shows in the Japanese continuity, watch Energon. That's about as god-awful as it can be. But we're looking at a character from the Beast Wars 2 series, the Japanese counterpart of the well-known Beast Wars series that was in the States. We're looking at a character that, of course, fills in the same role as Optimus Prime, Optimus Primal, being the heroic leader of the Maximals, the good guy, the courageous leader, the guy who's out to defend the weak and helpless, and fight for justice and his right to party and all that stuff. Beast Wars 2, or Beast Wars 2nd, or whatever you want to call it, Lio Convoy, or Lio Prime, or Lio Convoy, or whatever he's called. He has a lot of different names. So Lio Prime is his Western name of the States, but it doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. So instead I'm just calling him Lio Convoy because that's who he is, and that's what he's called by. Now, Beast Wars 2 is a very weird series, in that it's a series that I'm really not that well familiar with. I'd never really watched the show from beginning to end to really fully understand what happened in that show, the characters, the story, and everything like that. The show just, the show came along at the time to just fill in the gap and just fill in a sort of bridge between the original Beast Wars and Series 2 Beast Wars. And it succeeded at best, I think. But the series, of course, is aimed for a much more younger demographic. In that it's more childish and more silly and more immature than the original Beast Wars series. I watched a couple of clips of the show, and it's really nothing that special. It's what you'd basically expect from your standard anime aimed for children. But then again, take it or leave it for what it is. It's a weird show, there are some weird moments in it, but at the same time the show is quite entertaining, and while I'm not too familiar with the series of Beast Wars 2, the only thing that I watched as a child of Beast Wars 2 was the, Beast Wars 2, the movie, Lio Convoy, Immediate Danger, where you see this guy and Optimus Prime will team up to defeat the death weapon of the Predacons, Majin Zarak. I'll get into that a little later on. But yeah, Lio Convoy from Beast Wars 2. What can we really say about this character? Well, like I said, there isn't a lot to say because I never really watched the show enough to fully understand. But from what I can gather, I guess, is that Lio Convoy, of course, is the leader of the Maximals in Beast Wars 2, and the whole theme, the whole opening of Beast Wars 2 is that when you first see Lio Convoy, when he's known as just Convoy, you see him crashing on the planet Gaia, which is, of course, Earth in the future. Now, of course, it's never really explained, but Earth, of course, Gaia, of course, is supposed to be Earth in the future because plants are overgrown, cities have fallen. It's a post-apocalyptic world where nature has reclaimed the wilderness in some way. And Convoy, of course, is rescued by a white lion. And what else? Convoy is rescued by a white lion, and he then takes on the form of the lion that rescued him, and then once he finds that the lion that rescued him was injured, he then fights against Megastorm and Starscream and BB and all that other stuff. In the show, he is voiced by Hosumi Goda, who I'm a little bit familiar with some of the things that he's done as a seiyuu, because he was in things like Armor Trooper Votoms, Blue Submarine 6, Read or Die. He's been in a lot of stuff. And the thing is, though, is that Hosumi Goda is mainly a comedian, though, so having a comedian play a wise, stern, serious character like Lio Convoy, don't know how that works, but then again, it's it's one thing. It's one thing. It's one thing after another. But yeah, Lio Convoy's role in the series is basically what you would expect. He kind of fills in the same role as Optimus Prime or Optimus Primal, and he does a good job of leading the Maximals into battle. In the Beast Wars 2 movie, when you actually see him talking to his son Lio Jr., who of course is a redeco of Magnaboss's Prowl, he then of course manages to be disappointed by Lio Jr.'s actions, and then of course Lio Convoy, being the serious, stern leader that he is, sort of disowns Lio Jr. It's a weird movie. It's not supposed to make any sense. It's Japanese, by the way, but yeah. And then later on, around the climax of the movie, you see Lio Convoy having a little discussion with the Maximal from the Maximal leader from the American Beast Wars series, Optimus Primal, and they team up to defeat Majin Zarak, who, of course, Majin Zarak is the supposed walking machine of death from Beast Wars 2, the movie, which Galvatron steers with a pirate steering wheel. But of course, the machine of the Majin Zarak, of course, is a walking death machine, essentially. So basically, he's uncontrollable, or it's uncontrollable. He or she, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's really all I can say about Lio Convoy. Unfortunately, there really isn't a lot I can say about this character because there isn't a lot that I know about Beast Wars 2, so I really can't tell you whether or not it's good or bad. Watch a couple of the episodes if you can find them, because the series, is, of course, is very rare to find. I'm aware that it's got the series is being done by the TF Cog Fandom Productions. There's a fandom going on of it. I don't know what's happening to that dub anymore, but it's pretty good. But yeah, yes, so that's the character of Lio Convoy. He is the wise, stern, Optimus Primal-ish prime character. The leader of the Maximals, the brave dude that he is. Now, onto the toy itself, and this keeps falling out. Here, of course, is Lio Convoy in his beast mode, which is, of course, he is a lion, which... Now, the thing about Beast Wars 2, the toy line, of course, of Beast Wars 2, is that most of the toy line of Beast Wars 2 was mostly just, redeco toys from different parts of Transformers, from the Generation 2 line, from G1 as well, and even from the Western Beast Wars toy line, where you had characters like Bone Crusher and Bone Crusher and Baboom and Clawjaw being redecorated into characters like Bighorn, Apache, and Scuba. Most of the line was mostly just redecos and retool toys. The only two original toys from that line were this toy and Beast Wars 2 Galvatron. I've seen a lot of people review that figure from top to bottom. A lot of people comment on that figure saying that the alt mode, of course, looks like a phallic symbol, and it does. I want to try and get that toy because it's a dragon, and dragons are cool. But yes, Lio Convoy, he is a lion, and the one thing that I like about this toy as well is that it's cleverly designed, it's cleverly well held together, and it looks really good. This figure, of course, was I think the last thing that I bought from Auto Assembly last year, in that I was just about to leave, and when I saw this thing for a reasonable price, I had to have it. I just grabbed it without a moment's hesitation, and I've got it. But the thing is that he, of course, doesn't come with any missiles. And then again, I don't care, though, because missiles are one of those things that you'll lose from top to bottom. So missiles do not make a figure complete. It's just one of those wasted bits of plastic that really don't have an importance. When it comes to Lio Convoy's toys, though, he's had a lot of toys over the years. There's this one, and then there's the Black Lio Convoy, which is, of course, a deco of this one, only just painted in the Scourge colours, before Scourge already existed. Then there's the Flash Lio Convoy, which is painted in the yellow and white colours, very see-through plastic, pretty much reminiscing that of what he did in Beast Wars 2, the movie, and his toy, this version of the toy in the Toyline Robot Masters. And the one that I think pretty much a lot of people are aware of and a lot of people hate for a lot of different reasons is the Universe version of this guy, which is of course a redeco/retooling of the Cybertron toy Leo Breaker, and it looks like crap. I wanted to be optimistic about that toy for a while, though, but when you look at that toy in its beast mode and its robot mode, it looks like crap. The plastic looks weak, and it just looks astoundingly bad for a toy. I really wish that, and I get the feeling though that since Beast Wars 2 never reached the States, what Hasbro were trying to do, I think, were just trying to just bring that toy, the Leo Breaker, Leo Prime toy, into the Western audiences, just to let people know that Beast Wars 2 existed as a franchise, and it failed. That's really all I can say about it. It failed, the toy was crap. Whereas this toy, on the other hand, is fantastic. It's a fantastic representation of how you do a Beast Wars toy, and an original mold as well. And the one thing that I like about this toy is that it has a lot of gimmicks, and without the missiles, I guess the gimmicks will kind of feel a bit weak. But I think it works in some way or another. Now, the first gimmick, of course, is, well, before I can get onto that, the detail on this figure is well established. You can see the hair detail in the mane, which is beautifully handled. The fur is well textured, well layered, and it just looks really good. The tail, just a tail is really all it is. And of course, you can see on the paws, you can see the white slowly turning into grey colors right there, so that's light going into dark. Really good use of that. I like toys that play around with colors like that. That's really cool. Now onto the gimmicks. Now, of course, in Beast Mode, because these gimmicks look a lot better in Beast Mode. The one gimmick, of course, you'll see, of course, here's Lio Convoy's head, just a lion, and of course, right here, you can see a button right there. And if you also, as well, these two ears as well, they're supposed to be white, but of course they're painted over with the gold paint, so it's just a minor nitpick. It's not really worth mentioning. But yeah, the first gimmick, of course, you'll see this button right here, and if you press the button, the lion mouth moves up and down, so that's really cool. I like toys that have that sort of opening and closing mouth gimmick. Take me to your leader. Cookies. But yeah, this is quite nice. So that one gimmick. I'm Lio Convoy, give me your dinner. One thing about Lio Convoy was that he likes steak. So, give me your steak. But yeah, and the second gimmick, of course, is, of course, he has a weapon system where, of course, in the main, you can actually shoot out the weapons, and of course, the two missile launchers, oh sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 missile launchers come out. And here is Lio Convoy in his, oh my god, what the hell is this fucked up arm to the teeth look, which, this would look a lot better with the missiles, but I think it looks okay, I think. It looks presentable, I think. If you were to just take away the missile gimmick of this figure, and just have these things as just like cannons that don't shoot any missiles, I think that would actually look pretty cool. But yeah, this is the gimmick, of course, where you can shoot out the missiles, and you don't really see lions doing this very often, though, do you? The second gimmick as well, which, of course, is part of this one, is, of course, in the arms, in the lion arms, these two claws will shoot out. So, of course, yes, here's Lio Convoy in his fucked up arm to the teeth look. And, of course, he has the, he's got the Wolverine from X-Men look going on, which looks really badass. It's a badass looking, second mode that you can have this guy in. It looks really cool. And, of course, the third gimmick, which, of course, let me just get all these things in, because I need to close all the, shit up, just to show you what this chap can do. Just pull the missiles in. If you lift up the, actually, one thing I forgot to mention as well, there's a button right here, which, of course, which is going to be used later on for this gimmick. You lift up pieces of the main, the 4 pieces from each side, right there. Move the arms out of the way so that this gimmick can work. And of course, doing this activates the Lio Typhoon gimmick, which, if you look right here, there's a button which, of course, if you press, it will make the main spin around. So, Lio Typhoon, and then, of course, now just move the arms out of the way so it doesn't block the attack. But yes, this is the one gimmick that just looks really silly, but at the same time, it looks it works for this toy, I think. So this is the Lio Typhoon gimmick that you can spend hours and hours and hours and hours just playing with. Spin the other way. So yeah, the Lio Typhoon gimmick, a silly gimmick. I don't know why that's there, but I think it's cool though. It's a nice little gimmick. So with all these pieces out of the way, now we're going to transform this guy. So first thing you want to do, of course, is you want to just open up the arms. Like so, and of course the arms will immediately just fall out of place, because of course they're held by the lion head itself. Lift out the guns, and then just lift this bit up, and of course lift the tail out of the way, The one thing I like about this toy is that the transformation for this actually works, and it looks kind of cool. It's not overcomplicated, and thank God it's not, because otherwise I would have ruined the quality of this figure altogether. But it's a good transformation of what it is. So with all that going on, just lift the robot head out of the way, and just move the waist around, and then just slot this in as hard as possible so that it doesn't move around. And there we go. And of course what you want to do is you want to just move the arms perfectly in place with the shoulders of this thing. So, hang on, lift that up. It's quite a it's a piece former is what it is. It's a piece former in that pieces will often fall out and it can be very hard to get back in. But you know what? The final result is it's worth it. So come on, that's it. There you go. So here is, hang on, get in. That's it, there you go. So here is Lio Convoy in his moving the legs around. Pardon the noise. Here is Lio Convoy in his robot mode. Now, the one thing that I think really stands out for this figure is I like how much attention to detail was added to this figure just to make this figure look so much like an Optimus Prime figure altogether. And it's worth it, I think. So hang on, just, there you go. Here, of course, is Lio Convoy in his robot mode, and right away, the final result is worth it. Right away, you can see just how much detail is put into this figure in robot mode, and it's a very good result. So, the one thing, of course, I'll show you is the head, which is really, really nice. It's a very Optimus Prime-esque head, and it looks really, really good. Of course, it has the yellow eyes. I like how, seeing as Optimus Primal in the show had a mouth, and Lio Convoy doesn't have a mouth in Beast Wars 2. I like the fact that they were just able to leave Lio Convoy's head alone and just make him just a sort of Optimus Prime-ish head. And it works so well. This is in fact a perfect head sculpt. I would use this head as anything for Optimus Prime in future toys. This head actually works so well. The rest of the figure, of course, is what it is. Of course, the joints of this figure are all on ball joints, so of course they can move whichever direction we want them to. And the knees, of course, are bendable. The only real problem that I've got with this figure, though, is, of course, in robot mode. The lion head is just, it sticks out from the shoulder, which I guess is kind of okay. But then again, since a lot of Beast Wars toys did a somewhat okay job with hiding a lot of the beast heads, some did okay, some didn't. But then again, this one kind of really shows that it sticks out. So, and the one thing as well is that you can't actually have the pieces of the mane tucked away to just make this thing a little bit less of an eyesore, because of course the mane covers one portion of the head. So you have to actually have the cannons out of the mane, well, the rest of the mane out, in order to reveal the robot head. So that's one problem. I really think that, since in the show, in the movie as well, Lio Convoy's mane dominated one entire portion of his shoulder, and his head was visible for anyone to see. But in this, I think it's okay, I guess. It sticks out, but what are you going to do? The one thing I like as well is that in the chest, of course, you can see the maximal symbol right there. The very Prime-esque chest, and of course, if you open up the maximal symbol, you can see that he has the matrix of leadership, which can't be removed. I think it's okay though, and of course you can see the rub sign showing that he's a maximal. But this figure, of course, is very, very good. It's a great toy, and it just looks really good. What else can I say about this figure? Of course, you can actually have this guy in his arm to the teeth, fuck off, I'm gonna kill you weapons mode, which of course, just getting, hang on, a piece of the mane out. You can actually have, oh no, you can't. You can actually have these pieces from the mane taken off as little guns. These would look a lot better with the missiles, though, but I think it looks okay, though, nonetheless. You can actually have these little guys. Try and get one of them out. You can have these little things just attached to both sides of the hand, like so. And then he actually looks a bit more presentable. He actually looks like a much more powerful leader than he actually turns out to be. But Here, of course, is Lio Convoy, one of the many poses that you can actually have him in, to make this character at least more badass as he is in the show, and as well as courageous as he is in the show. So is this toy worth getting? Well, if you like Beast Wars, and you're not that familiar with the Japanese series altogether, I would recommend getting this figure highly, because this is how you do a Beast Wars toy, I think. An original sculpt that looks really kick-ass, and it stands out very well from all the other toys that are mostly just redecos and retools. This is one of the original molds that worked for the Beast Wars 2 franchise, for the Beast Wars 2 series in general. That and Galvatron, which I will try to get at Auto Assembly this year if I can find him for a reasonable price. But yeah, this figure is fantastic, but don't get the, I would highly recommend that you don't get the Universe version of this guy. It looks like crap. But this figure is fantastic. One thing as well, even though, if to anybody who isn't aware of the Beast Wars 2 series, this character also did appear in the Beast Wars 2 Gathering and Ascending comic, which at least explains his backstory a little bit more, as the stern, proud, maximal warrior that he is. But yeah, Lio Convoy, a fantastic toy, worth getting. He looks better without the missiles, but then again, the missiles just make this figure feel a little bit incomplete, though. But then again, there's plastic that you can lose wherever it goes. So anyway, this has been Beast Wars 2 Lio Convoy, a great figure and a somewhat missable character for anybody who doesn't even know what the Japanese, for anyone who isn't aware of the Japanese series and its stories. And I am Skullgrim140. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. See you all soon.